We got through that. Okay. Alright, so let's start with the chill. Let's start with the chill. Oh my gosh, technology is fun and interesting, and that's sarcasm. Um, yeah, so today I just wanted to hop on and do a chill stream. And sorry for the feedback. I think there's like some feedback on the stream. We're gonna do some digital art. I haven't done digital art in about a month, a little over a month. So I'm going to do a replica or remake of a piece that I did traditionally not too long ago with some acrylic markers. And it was a hibiscus piece. I do not have it in front of me, bummer, but let's dive in and just like draw and have fun. Yeah, I think I fixed it digitally present, but let me know if you hear double audio again. Okay. So what I did last time with my acrylic piece, a hibiscus piece, was I did a dark background and then worked from dark to light, and that was really fun. So I think I want to do that again and have this background be completely dark. Why do I have 3 layers? That works for me though, because I'll need 3 layers. And I'm gonna just randomly pick some colors. I know hibiscus are like red, maybe pinkish. I'm gonna draw me some hibiscus. Some hibiscus killers. Let's see. I like this vibrant color. Let's go back to the brush. I don't know why I'm clicking around because I have a pen in my hand. I have a stylus. So let's see. I just want to make that a little bit bigger. Make my brush size a little bit bigger. And I am woefully out of practice, but let's have fun with it. Let's see. I'm gonna just go in and make some shapes. Some blobs I think are like kind of close to hibiscus shapes. I'm not looking at reference, I'm just going off of what I feel, intuitive drawing. And I recently like did this piece, so it's like still fresh in my head, like the shapes I'm going for. Yay! Okay, I fixed the audio. So I have been working on a lot of traditional pieces, and I'm so used to using my mouse. It's almost like a little bit of a crutch, but I'm gonna get over that. I've been doing a lot more traditional pieces, and I've actually been recording my process for my traditional pieces on my computer or OBS. I've just been having a lot of fun getting back to tactile work. So digital has not been my priority. However, it's always good to keep those skills fresh and maintain them. And I haven't streamed in over a month. So I'm like, I need to do that. I need to get back to this and have fun. Alright. And I'm gonna do some other color. Let's go with like a purple. I don't want it too dark. Like I guess we could go with like a baby pink. It's telling me it's too bright, I guess. But warning sign. I don't care, I'm picking colors how I feel. Oh no. Not class, am I distracting you from cooking? Are you following a recipe? Yeah, so I had a recent market that I attended, like recent as in yesterday, and that class showed up, and that was really fun to have a friend come and support me. The show was really nice. Had really cool vendors that I'd never interacted with before, never even met before or knew of. And usually when I go to art markets, lately at least, I know the people, so it was interesting to meet new people. I got some really cool like free stuff from vendors because they just came up and like gave me things, and I'm like, that's so sweet. And there was like music. It was just a really fun time. I really enjoyed myself. To be completely honest, the market wasn't financially successful, but it was fun. And I'm learning to enjoy the things that markets provide other than money. So, like the exposure, good conversations. I don't know why the news keeps popping up on my screen, but we're gonna just go with the flow. I'm gonna do another light pink one over here. Just feel it out. This might not even be hibiscus. They look like peonies. I don't know. I don't know flowers. Do people know flowers? Oh, that's awesome. You want a raffle at a table. Do you know who it is? The artist that's going to be at the call? Like, I didn't get everybody's business cards when I was there. Oh, yes, awesome. Okay, yeah. They were cool. I had a really good conversation with Ray. And that is another vendor at the market that I was at yesterday, the P&B Art Fair. They had some really like special work and special like meaning, significant to them in their like personal journey that they shared with me, and I was really appreciative of their vulnerability at that moment. And we have something in common where we both did not do artwork for 8 years. which is kind of funny, but it was cool. It kind of just looks like clouds right now. this is fun, entertaining. Art is always a trust the process. There's always a trust the process moment in art where you're like, I don't know how this is gonna look, but I'm gonna trust that it's gonna look nice at the end. A lot of stuff similar with life. Just gotta trust the process. Let's see. I don't want it to just like end right there. I do want it to feel like it's going off the page. And so I'm really excited about the recording I did of the acrylic piece. It's like the sister piece to this, I guess. But I went and purchased the gravy acrylic markers, and they actually work really well. Those are the ones that are on TikTok, and I had, of course, very low like expectations. I own a set of Posca markers, and honestly, the Posca markers, even on like thick mixed media paper that I have, like they're not great, and I don't know why. Because they're supposed to be quality, or like the name brand, the big brand in acrylic markers. So it was very interesting how like this cheap, or quote unquote cheap, brand of acrylic markers worked so well. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, they're so good that I want to get another set. The set I have is like 28. I kind of want to get the set of 48. I believe it's 48. Just to have more range of colors. But it was a lot of fun doing that project. And hopefully that video will be up on YouTube soon. Somehow every time I go to record the audio for that, because it's a added audio, something comes up in my day, and I'm just like, okay, didn't plan for this, but let's be flexible and just record another day. That's interesting. Okay. Well, I can see how that works. Let's put that layer up there because I want to do some greenery, I think. No, let's do... Yeah, life happens. In that class, life just happens. Okay, so this is that, and I want to do a darker color here. I'm going to do this all in the same layer, because why not? It's not going to be that big of a deal to do this all in the same layer. And let's see. Ooh, nice. Yeah. I figured that would be good. Okay. I'm going to do where the stem comes out from the center. So hibiscus are like one of my favorite flowers. Again, I don't know flowers. I don't have a green thumb. Like, I have strategically placed the camera so that you cannot see the cactus or the aloe vera plant that's like barely hanging on behind me. But I really like hibiscus. I really like roses. And I often, if I'm just like, I need something to draw that's chill and simple, I'll do that. I'll draw hibiscus and roses. I think my interest in drawing hibiscus came from this portrait of this like photography portrait of a singer that I really like from Thailand. His name is Poom Viparit. He's actually in Portland for a show that I went to. It was amazing. Like September 2023, last year. So great. Phenomenal talent. Please check him out if you get the chance. One of his biggest songs is Loverboy on YouTube. Anyways, digressing. So there's a portrait of him, a photography portrait, with a hibiscus in his hair. And I redrew that portrait as like one of the first pieces after my 8-year stint of not doing work, any kind of artwork. And just like the fun of doing the line work for hibiscus flowers, like it's like meditation almost. It's like you have to focus and make sure that your lines are kind of consistent with how the flower also looks. And of course it's illustration. I'm just having fun and doing something representative, not actual. But yeah, that's how I got to liking drawing hibiscus flowers, and that's why I'm doing it now, because it's really chill and nice. Thank you, Nat class. Or digitally present. I don't know if you want to go by Nat class. But yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look up like the meaning of the flower or something. Maybe it has like a really cool meaning behind it. Maybe something that I resonate with. Gotcha. Okay. Digitally present. I was kind of confused. I'm like, wait. Do you have 2 accounts? But I see it. Yeah, I hope everybody's day was nice. Like, I had a fun day today. I got to meet up with a friend for lunch. I went and bought some art supplies that I don't need, but I wanted. Like I said, I'm kind of like feeling this flowery vibe. The sun was out this week, and like it's warm again. And even my clothes, like I'm like, flowers, flower time, flower power. But yeah, I have plans. I bought gesso board, uh, and I don't think I've ever worked with gesso board before. But I wanted something a little bit more stiff than just a regular canvas, because I am going to do another set of like flower themed something on the gesso board. And see how that turns out. Okay. Yay. Alright, so that one's done. And then this one. Let's get this. Girl it in here. And just make the designs where I feel like. I don't know about other people, but like I like to stand when I do artwork. I've kind of always been like that. I don't know what it is. I just don't like sitting. I guess I feel like I need to move. I need the freedom to move around. Yeah, I guess I could tell a story. Back, oh my gosh, he's so sleepy. Aw. He had a rough day. Or a tiring day, maybe. Thank you, Julie Present, for the compliment. The line work. Yeah, I really like doing line work. Yeah, let me tell you a story. So I mentioned not doing artwork for 8 years. That included the time that I was living in South Korea as an ESL teacher. And I didn't really think that I would ever do art again, to be quite honest. I had reached a point after trying to do art, after graduating art school, trying to do art as like a job, and not really having the support or resources that I needed to actually do that. I was like, okay, I need to get a real job, as most artists do. Have to like deal with that reality smack. So I decided, well, what about teaching? A friend of mine, a high school friend of mine, at the time was teaching English in Japan. And, oh, that was too thick. Okay. And it was like, well, come to Japan. It was like, they'll pay for your airfare. You'll have like freedom to kind of just travel and do what you want. Of course, like, do your job, but it's a different experience. Like, just come. And I'm like, I don't know, because I tried to learn Japanese before. Japanese is not easy for me to learn, or was not at the time. And I was just curious about other places that I could teach, that the language wouldn't be so difficult for me. And so Korea came into my mind because I was already a fan of K-pop. Big SHINee fan over here, by the way. SHINee is my bias group. This is probably a conversation that is not good, that's going to go over so many people's heads. But SHINee is my bias group. Love them. I love K-dramas. I love Korean food. And I was just like, that makes sense. Why don't I go to Korea? So I got this idea in my head and figured out all the steps to do that. It's a lengthy process, a lot of work. I had to get TOEFL certified and go through like rounds of interviews, do an application, everything you can imagine, anything you can think of. And all the while, I'm teaching myself Korean through YouTube because it's a kind of pictorial language. I don't know if that was the correct term, but it's visual. So, of course, I'm a visual learner. It's a lot easier for me, and it's very simple shapes for their alphabet. So I taught myself Korean, taught myself how to read, how to write, and how to speak, like at least basic stuff. And I told my family, I think it was it had to be 2014, early fall, late summer or early fall of 2014, that I told my family, I'm going to do this. And they did not believe me. They were like, you've never lived outside the country. What are you talking about? That's no. And I remember like telling my family, hey, I got in, or I think, it was like, I think I got to like a certain point in the process, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna get in, and I'm gonna go. And then they did like intake for all of the new teachers in February, and I got on a plane, sold my car, got on a plane, went to Korea. It was like not looking back. Didn't have any expectation of coming back to America at all. I was definitely just done with America at that point. And so all the while I'm in Korea for, oh my gosh, you can like barely see that, but that's fine. I'm in Korea for 4.5 years. In that time, so that's already 4 years before, already 4 years before, didn't do any artwork, not really, and then the time span that I was in Korea, I was like, let me just branch out and see what things are fun to do. I really missed drawing and doing artwork, and I think I was in like a healthier kind of emotional space for that, because art is very emotional for me. Like, it's my baby. And I want it to succeed. I want it to be like good. And I probably sound like I'm rambling right now, but that's fine. Um, so all that, went to Korea, like taught for a couple years, started in a small like country town, um, small mountain town in Taebaek, South Korea, and then eventually moved 2 years later to Chuncheon, which is a way bigger city, closer to Seoul. It's like an hour train ride, um, and they had like way more stuff to do. So I really enjoyed it. I found an art. What would you call that? So in Korean, it's Misur Hagwan, which roughly translates to, well, it actually translates to Art Academy. Yes. I'm also losing my Korean, which is so sad to say. I'm losing my like vocabulary and like language skills for Korean, and I really don't want that to happen. I'm still trying to find like um, language exchange groups or something, someone to practice with. But anyways, uh, I found this art academy, and I love the concept of this, and I really wish that they had something similar near me. But it was simply like an open studio, um, Monday through Saturday, and it opened around, I think, like 3 p.m., 4 p.m. for families, individuals, anybody who wanted to go and just draw. They had the all the supplies that you could need. Is for traditional drawing. Also, all the supplies you could think of, like paper, pens, pencils, paint, like everything. Acrylic, markers, um, oil, like literally everything. And you simply just like print, like got the owner to print a picture for you, or she would choose a picture herself and say, you're gonna practice this. And you just sit down and draw, and it's free form. It's not like a structured class. Like if you want a little bit more help and structure, you could ask the teacher to assist you with that, but it was just chill, and I loved it so much because a lot of the people there weren't fantastic artists by any means. It's not like that was the point, right? It was just for fun. And so there were like older ladies there that would go by themselves. There were families that would go together, which I always thought was really cute. Um, and a lot of college students, high school and college students that wanted to just work on their art and practice their art. And it was like subscription based, I guess. So people, or I think like that concept would be cool as a co-op, to be honest. But it was like subscription, like you pay for a certain amount of classes and then you can use the resources there. Membership. So I'm not good with English words as well. But yeah, I sat there and like I went to the academy, and I like chatted with the art teacher there, and the first thing she asked me is like, what do you want to draw? And I'm like, I don't know. So she printed out a picture of an apple and gave it to me. Gave me a 11 by 14 piece of paper and a pencil and said, draw. Nothing else, just draw. And I think she was trying to assess my skills to see like what support I needed. So I just drew. And like after 2 hours, I had a bit of shading on the apple done, and she was like, "Oh, you actually like have skill. I don't have to teach you." So then she gave me another project. The next 2 weeks later, after I finished my apple drawing, and it was an eye, and it was a photorealistic drawing that I did. And then she's like, I think you should do something that you really like, because I want to see your art style. And I'm like, I don't have a style. What are you talking about, lady? And so at the time, that was 2018. Yeah, so at that time, comes back around, my favorite group, Shiny, bias K-pop group. One of the members of their group had passed away, which was really, really sad and like hard to deal with for me as a fan. And I wanted to make like a tribute kind of portrait for him. And so like that was honestly like the start of my return to art, was being able to like draw a portrait with like line work, and very similar to this. I just did it. And it felt really good to like get back to drawing, but also see that my skill level was still there. Like that's always I guess a fear of mine when I haven't done anything in a while, is it gonna look good? So I was really happy about that piece. I actually have it hanging on my wall right now in my little mini gallery of my work. And funny enough, I hated drawing portraits. I also hated still life. I remember like being in high school, and like part of being in talented art was like doing all these different projects and stuff for class, where you had to like practice still life, practice this in somebody else's style, like, and I'm like, I just want to draw manga stuff. So I always like did enjoy character design, and that's very present in some of the work that I do and sell. But I never really thought I'd be good at portraits, because I was always scared that it wouldn't look like the person. And from that first portrait of the member of Shiny came the Poom Biffert portrait that I drew, that I told you all about in, like a little earlier. And then came like another portrait of another K-pop star that I liked from EXO, D.O. from EXO, if anybody cares. um, and then I was like, I think I want to just do a project where it's just like portraits of K-pop folks or people that I like that are musical artists. So I remember buying like 2 sketchbooks. This is still in Korea. I remember buying 2 sketchbooks and I'm like, I'm gonna fill this up of portraits, just black and white portraits with ink. And I came really close to finishing the second one. Um, but by that time, it was summer of 2019. And um, had some things happen in my family that made me make the decision to go back home, which I ultimately think was the right decision. Although I miss Korea every day, like every single day. Um, but like that's always going to be like a really important moment in my life because I think I really needed to be in a different space, be in a different country, like have something completely different for me to revisit my artwork. And I don't know um, what it would have looked like had I not just taken a chance and done art. I wouldn't be doing this stream, I don't think. Um, I think it was a good choice. So yeah, so I'm hoping that at least encourages people. Yeah, and now we're here, digitally present. Now we're here streaming and selling my artwork and like doing events for other artists to sell their artwork and just have that experience of entrepreneurship. But yeah, I owe it all to that art academy. And like the best thing about it is like that academy has grown. I've been keeping up with uh, the academy on Instagram, and the space that I remember going to was so little, and there was probably like 5 or 6 tables in there, and everybody was crammed together, but everybody like enjoyed the space. And now it's a big like workshop area, and they teach like so many different classes, and they do digital stuff, and it's just really cool. And they've had a lot of like award-winning artists come out of there. Yeah, I think if I had the opportunity, I would create something exactly like that here. Because there's not really a lot of opportunity for people who are not children to engage with art or art classes as much. Yeah, it's kind of like weird because I think there's like a need for it for sure. I think there's people that would be interested in something like that where it's not a class specifically or a workshop, it's just an open studio. And they have that for ceramics, they have that for woodworking. Um, they have a lot of open studio things that I've seen for other creative endeavors, but not like traditional 2D art specifically. And I don't know why that is. I think that's one of my hopes is to get something like that started, at least in the form of finding a venue and like promoting that as like a once monthly thing or something. I don't know, that's still a fresh idea in my head. And Digitally Present says there are no choirs to join that aren't church or for kids. Yeah, that's gotta suck. I'm gonna take a quick sip of coffee. Yeah. I guess like unless you're closer to the city, like the biggest city of Portland, there's nothing like that. And why not? People like adults like to sing too. Yeah, it's frustrating. Yeah, Portland is very far away from where we are or where we reside, which I'm not gonna dox. But yeah. But I think there needs to be more stuff for adults to do that's like creative and collaborative. Like there's a lot of, I guess when I think about like ceramics classes, like you're doing it on your own. I don't know if there are collaborative aspects to that, but like choir is collaborative. Like you have to have people that are working together. So that was my story. And I'm just going in and making some line work. Meanwhile, I'm complaining about there not being like spaces or like things to do for. Did you fall asleep on the couch again? I'm complaining about did you guys eat? Actually. Are you still cooking? Disney present says he came in briefly and said, "Oh, identity theft." Okay, waiting for food to be done. Okay. Um, oh my gosh, I made so much kimchi jjigae, or not kimchi jjigae, kimchi fried rice. That I made it for like the week. So I am going to eat good in, did I start 5? In half an hour? I think I'm going to just go to 7. Because I got to have foods. And I got to do others things. I don't know, digitally present. Something doesn't feel right. Are you really the real digitally present? But oh, like what I was gonna say was yeah. Meanwhile, I'm like complaining about, not really complaining about, but like mentioning that there's not really adult studio art classes, but I have a really great group of friends and we meet semi-regularly. We'll probably meet more regularly um, once the weather's better. Uh, to do drink and draws. And that's been really fun, and just the support that we all give to one another is so inspiring, and I just love that I was able to find a great group of people who are just as passionate about their art and wanting to just be better. They're just great human beings. Yes, real community. And that's what we need more of in the world, more than ever. It's like real community, real people that care for each other and want to see each other succeed. Ooh. Getting these like down ankles is a little bit tricky. Oh my gosh, I'm almost done with the line work. Yay! Like towards the end of line work heavy pieces, I'm like, okay, yes, finally. I love line work, but it is tedious. It does get tedious after a while. And I just try to like start speeding up and make some errors. Oh, thank you, digitally present. I appreciate that. I really do. I love like heavy line work and detail. Pretty sure I'm inspired by Art Nouveau in that sense. There's some little decorative elements I'm trying to capture in my line work sometimes. And I also used to be like very like, oh my gosh, this line has to be perfect. And I'm like, I don't feel like that anymore. I would spend so much time just getting one line looking correct, and I'm like, nope, it does not need to be perfect. It just needs to be done. Because nobody's going to know that that line is not the way that you wanted it to go. So they're going to just see all the pretty flowers together and be like, ooh, I like that. 99% of the time. Okay, and I think that's all of them. Nice. Okay. So now, for the last 20 minutes or so, I'm going to go in and do the stems. I'll do it on a new layer so that I don't ruin my line work layer. Let's see if this is too bright or not. It's kind of bright, but that's fine. I think that is actually visually helpful to maybe draw the eye in different places. Oh, nice. Well, enjoy your food, and I'm glad that I could be like entertainment. Alright. I just know that the stem is like a bunch of full circles. I'm not trying to be exact. I put some more orange in some spaces. Thank you. Digitally present. Yeah. The stems definitely like make it like, oh, that's definitely hibiscus. Which looks cool. on some of the lighter flowers, I'm gonna go back in with some orange just to make it stick out a bit more. Overlap on some of them so it doesn't feel so self-contained. That's the fun thing about flowers too, is like they don't have to be accurate at all. It's like, you obviously get that this is a stem, you obviously get that the rest is like the flower. Okay. Let's go. Let's get some orange in there. Also, I don't want to overwork it either. I just want a little bit of color variety and that's it. Get this one up here. Well, that's too much. Last few ones. Right. And let's see, last but not least, let's see how I feel about against that background. No, I want that to be a little bit more dark. Not too dark, but I want the flowers to stand out more than the leaves. And I don't know what hibiscus leaves look like. But I will just play and have them go the way that I want them to. I'll just make that a stem. I do want the stems to help draw the eye as well. Or Is that a stem? Vine? The green part of the leaf that holds, no, the green part of the flower that holds the leaf of the stem. I should take a botany class. Oh. It's a stem. Thank you, digitally present. It's a stem. Okay. Well then the bits I just did are, oh my gosh. I want to say pistol and I'm like, that's not it. It's not a pistol. Oh, I can't remember. I feel like as I get older, my brain is just like, let's not keep information from high school where we learned about like the parts of a flower or like the parts of a cell. Like, let's just like fill it with not so useful information. Like the birthdays of every single member of Shiny. I actually still think I want those leaves to be a little bit darker, but I'm gonna fix that and I'll fix it in post. No, I'll fix it with like different settings, layer modes. Let's go this way. I just want that to go. I was like, I don't want to make a tangent. See, I remember that word, tangent, from college. Don't want to get so close to another piece in your artwork that it lines up directly. But can I remember the parts of a flower? Nope. Alright. Steven! Thank you! Oh my gosh. The pistachio? Digitally present. You came in clutch. Yes, it is a stamen. Like, we don't need to remember these things. That's why we have Google. Alright. So I think last bit, I'm going to... Ooh, not that. Not darken it. Not lighten it either. Alright, how about we... Blending modes were not it for me. How about we do that? I like that. You just dropped the opacity. And then I don't have to recolor everything. Yeah. So yeah, I like that. Let me make sure I have that color. And then we'll go a little bit darker to do some leaves. Ooh, zooming in. Okay. Oh my gosh, zoom too much. We'll shrink the brush down a bit so I can just do, I don't want to do too much detail in the stem and leaves because that's not the focus. Also, this is incredible because, y'all, I finished an illustration in 2 hours. Unheard of. My digital portraits take like 4 hours each because of how much detail is in them. Let's extend it a little bit more. Alright, let's kind of just get out of there a bit. Okay. I also keep forgetting that the camera is like right here and I should be looking at it. I'm looking at my tablet. What? Oh my goodness, look at that! Look at that. And we have a finished digital illustration. Woot woot. That was the most lackluster woot woot. Woot woot! There we go. I needed to redo that one. Just want to get a little bit more. It just didn't feel like it worked well. Okay, so that. I'm gonna get the orange in there too. Alright, and finishing touch. Why did it do? Okay, no, that was enough. Finishing touch is our signature. I need to sign this. And I like to do my signature as like a little design. It's my air sign since I am a Gemini. Yeah, it's the air sign. And it's also my logo for my business and my Instagram. And I know how stark that looks, but we're gonna drop the opacity on it just a little bit so that it's not as intense. And actually I might move it to the other side. And shrink it just a bit. It doesn't need to be that big. Alright. And that is it. It is 7 o'clock on the dot. And we have a finished piece. Yay! Thank you so much for chilling with me and having some fun and doing some beautiful artwork. I hope you enjoyed, and I will be more consistent with streaming next time. Thank you, Digitally Present, for showing up / nap class. And I'll catch y'all next time. But yeah, let's say goodbye.